Well, hello, everybody. My name is Aimee Lydon Adams, and I am absolutely delighted to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Amba, for creating such a glorious event and a convergence of so much information that can make a huge difference in people's lives. You're probably already noticing from my accent that I was born in England. I came to the United States in my late 20s and first had a career in corporate America as a corporate executive in several Fortune 500 companies before being approached by my spirit guides and transitioning my career into the field of metaphysics. I have the great good fortune to share purpose and destiny with my 12 ascended master guides, who like to be called the wise beyond wise. I share their wisdom through my words and their healing energy through my hands. The first part of our purpose was to wake as many people up on the earth plane as possible. And most recently, that purpose changed as we began this year into the process of helping people emerge their true essence. I'll explain what that is in a little bit. Essentially, it's a way of being able to release the many layers of wounding that each of us have acquired over many, many lifetimes on the earth plane. So today I'm going to share a piece, a teaser, if you will, of a 90-minute presentation. And I am going to share a lot of information that I've either learned from my Ascended Master Guides or that I've practiced myself for years and assisted my clients with. I don't ask you to believe everything I say. It's time on earth for us to learn to think for ourselves. So I just ask that you notice what resonates with you and take that in and let go of everything else. Okay. Now, I'd like to start with a meditation. It's a short one, but I would invite you, if you're comfortable, to place both of your feet flat on the floor and gently close your eyes. We're going to take 3 grounding breaths to get started. A grounding breath means you breathe in through the nose and out through an open and relaxed jaw, twice as long on the exhale. And breathing out through an open and relaxed jaw sounds more like a ha sound than a whoo sound, which is through pursed lips. So let's take the first breath together, shall we? Here we go. And again. Allowing your body just to come in for a landing. And one more to fully land. Here we go. And in this meditation, I want to take you back to a time before you were born, when you heard that planet Earth was about to ascend in frequency in a way that would lead to the age of enlightenment. Since we very first started manifesting on the earth plane, it was always our dream to live the life we lived in the higher worlds on the earth plane. We wanted to experience heaven on earth. Not surprisingly, billions, yes, billions of souls wanted the opportunity to acquire the gift of a human physical body, to not only witness this extraordinary shift of the ages, but also to contribute to it. So you booked a meeting with your spirit guides. Yes, everyone has at least 3 guides. And they told you that this coming lifetime would be unlike any you had lived so far. In normal lifetimes, you got to choose what you would like to teach, something you had already learned. And you got to choose what you would like to learn, what was next on the wheel of life for you. And you also contributed something of value in those lifetimes. Your guides explained, because this lifetime was such a shift in frequency that you would also need to pay back all of your remaining karma, as karma is very dense in its nature and would keep you in a lower frequency if you did not. Your guides added that because so many souls wanted to be a part of this shift on Earth, an additional meeting with the Lords of Karma was required. In this meeting, you shared with the Lords of Karma what it was that you wanted to contribute, and they checked in your Akashic records to confirm that you had done this successfully before in another lifetime. You see, we have failed several times in raising the frequency of the planet, including in Atlantis and Lemuria, and this time the Lords of Karma wanted to load the dice, as it were. You were thrilled beyond measure to have succeeded in winning a human physical body. And you couldn't wait to experience this very different life on Earth. You chose a set of gifts and talents that you'd already mastered in past lives that you thought would be helpful to you in fulfilling this purpose. You chose your family and your parents and set dates for your karmic partners to arrive. And then you were ready. So each of you were invited here. You belong here. And you were so excited to have the opportunity to make your contribution. Take a moment and just see if you can tap in to those feelings of awe, of delight, of excitement. This is the lifetime you've been waiting for. And when you're ready, without rushing, you can gently open your eyes. Good job. Now, fast forward. Here you are. And perhaps some of you are wondering what happened to those feelings of awe, delight, and excitement. Some of you are even perhaps wondering what went wrong. Many of you, by necessity, in this first part of your life have moved through many types of relationships, whether they were with spouses or lovers or business colleagues, clients, friends, even family members. And perhaps, you've also moved through many jobs. You've had many bosses, many peers. Perhaps you've moved your home many times, often unexpectedly. These seeming losses may have caused you to fear that you are off track, doing something wrong or being punished, but nothing could be further from the truth. Up until now, you've been on a journey of completing your karmic contracts. The easiest way to complete a karmic contract is by saying no. No, I'm not willing to be mistreated by you again in this life. Sometimes you might test the waters, give people another chance if you haven't given them many, many chances before, by setting some new boundaries. But if those boundaries are violated, then you know that there is no energetic alignment between you and this person. And it is time to let them go, to move on. Now, you were born into a lower dimensional frequency that exists on Earth at this point in time. And that lower frequency made a huge difference in your life experience up until now. It had a huge impact on your self-esteem. You see, up until now, we're born through what I call the veil of forgetfulness. And you forget everything you set up with your guides. You forget who you are, what you agreed to do. You forget even your level of evolutionary status. You arrive in survival. And as you arrive, you very quickly recognize that either your parents are distracted, worried about money, worried about taking care of you, or they have some issues with one another. And we decide very quickly, because of being in survival, that it doesn't look like there's going to be enough love and attention for us to grow and to thrive. And so what we do, again, up until now, this will all be changing in the higher frequencies, but up until now, we open our chakras and we absorb the wounding of our parents into our own energy field through energetic coding. And the wounding we absorb becomes our healing agenda. So remember, we pick our parents because they have the wounds that we also need to heal. It's called parental imprinting. And of course, at some point, it is a ritual to be able to sever those cords and agreements. Otherwise, we remain at the effect of our parental wounding, because that wounding comes through the cord connecting our parents' chakras with our chakras and keeps that wounding alive. Sadly, some people never do sever those cords. The next thing that happens is that we are almost immediately programmed and imprinted to fit in to life on the earth plane. It begins with our parents, continues in religious instruction, schooling, entry into the workplace, the world of finance, and of course, the media. Basically, we're taught not to make waves, not to be too big, too bright, too loud. We're programmed to sit still, shut up, that there's only one right answer, and if we don't have it, then we're dumb. And we learn that we're too big, too small, too fat, too thin, not pretty enough, too pretty, not smart enough, too smart. I could go on and on. In addition, many of us acquired the belief that we have to prove our value. And of course, we also learned you can never prove it enough, keeping us on the treadmill, working harder and harder and longer hours. Sound familiar? As a result, most of us create what I call the false self-image, or the act. It's designed to project what you've learned people want from you. So I'm going to present what I've been told you want. And it does work up to a point. Yes, it attracts love and attention, but all that love and attention go to the act. It never goes to the person behind the act who is still traumatized into believing they're not good enough, not lovable enough, and there's something wrong with them. Our low self-esteem is never going to heal behind the act, leaving you the feeling that you're stuck with it. Now, for those of you who haven't heard this explanation before, it can be both thrilling to hear and also terrifying. That's because the next stage of our journey is to release the false self-image and emerge our true essence. You see, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to be fixed. You are intact underneath the wounding you have acquired, the belief system you have acquired, and other people's energy that you have absorbed. In this first part of your life, you've been focused on completing your karmic contracts by refusing to allow yourself to be mistreated again. You may have let go of people, situations, experiences that are simply out of alignment with your energetic frequency. You've been focused on healing your own wounding and to be of assistance to others engaged in that necessary process. But now, the task is to emerge your true essence. And what is that? Well, first of all, it is loving, because you were made out of love. And I'm talking about your first manifestation as a human being, made of love. Your essence is filled with love. And of course, your essence is divine. You are an aspect of divinity. And even in truth, you are a multi-dimensional being. One of the additional things you came to learn this lifetime was that the universe always means you well. Always. Even when it doesn't look like it. And you came to experience what it was like to have a human physical body, to fully experience your senses, to connect with all beings, not just human, and to experience the beauty and the bounty of this planet Earth. 2024 emerged as a year of profound change. Life as we've known it is over. We are being reborn into a higher dimensional frequency that will dramatically shift our experience on the earth plane as it continues to accelerate. For those of you unfamiliar with the term dimension, it's a state of consciousness that has its own characteristics and ways of thinking, feeling, and interacting. That's why I say life as we've known it is over, because we're moving out of a very dense vibration called 3D, or the third dimension, that is structured in duality, linear time, and separation. Everything in 3D is conditional and based on either or thinking, you know, good, bad, right, wrong, white, black. It spawned the 1%, the me versus you thinking. And it's also spawned the rise in narcissism. A perceived sense of separation spawns fear, and this further alienates us from our true essence, because with fear came judgment, resistance, limitation, lack, competition. Linear time simply means that past, present, and future all coexist and continue to loop as we drag the past into the present and recreate a future based on the past. If you've ever wondered why we haven't made more progress, that's why. Another aspect of 3D is the rational mind. Its job is to help us feel safe and to help us fit in, but it causes us to operate from a position of limitation than possibility. We've forgotten to think from the heart, which dramatically reduces our range of choices. For example, everything in 3D is conditional, I said. So unconditional love cannot exist in 3D. Furthermore, we've had so many lives in 3D that we've developed and concretized many beliefs that are now outdated and keep us in the past. Our language reflects 3D, and most of our habits promote 3D. We've come to believe that the only game available on Earth is 3D. No, nothing could be further from the truth. Which brings us to life in the fifth dimension, or 5D, and the topic of enchantment. To get to the fifth dimension, we first get to stabilize in the fourth dimension. Now, the present moment defines 4D. We've all had experience of it when we get immersed in something particularly enjoyable and can't believe how much time has passed. Doubt, worry, and fear instantly bring you out of it and return you to 3D. In 4D, you reclaim your power to choose and you let go of yes, but thinking. You have the ability to change the game. You have more access to your soul and your soul's essence. And your soul's essence is the talents and skills that you've mastered in past lives. The more we're present with what we're doing and who we are with, the more is revealed to us. I'll say more about that in a moment. But the fourth dimension is a necessary but temporary stepping stone into the fifth dimension. You can't go from 3D to 5D. You must leave the density of your mental and emotional baggage, your wounding, your outdated beliefs, and you must have completed all of your karmic contracts. You are consciously present with what you're doing and who you are with. Now, 5D time is called simultaneous time. Simultaneous, meaning everything happens at once. You beautiful ladies have been talking about manifesting, and of course, Abraham taught us, ask and you shall receive. In 5D, it's simultaneous. That's the way it is between lives in the higher worlds. Everything comes to you easily, so there's no need for hoarding. 5D is a dimension of oneness, where we see each other as our global family, share resources and wisdom. No need for visas or passports. We're global citizens, and we're no longer enslaved to money. There's no ego, and therefore no desire to be better than anyone else. There's nothing to prove, and no more need to strive for what we want, as abundance flows freely and all of your needs are easily met. Humans and all animals, all beings of creation will live in harmony and peace. Life will be lived in collaboration as we repair the damage we've done to Mother Earth. Let's just take a breath together. Now we're ready to talk about enchantment. Sharon Blackie, in The Enchanted Life, says enchantment isn't about magical thinking. It's about being fully present in the world, cultivating a sense of wonder and mystery. Remember that I said we came to experience the beauty and the bounty of this beautiful planet Earth through our senses? That we are, in fact, multi-sensory beings? We're so much more powerful than we could ever imagine. But up until now, we've been dumbed down, programmed, and imprinted to disbelieve anything we can't directly perceive. Now, children effortlessly access this state of wonder and curiosity until it's knocked out of them by adults. Who are their unseen friends that they delight in until told to grow up? Well, they're their spirit guides, of course. In 3D, the rational mind rules, and enchantment can only truly come alive and be sustainable in the fourth and fifth dimensions. Living a life of enchantment lifts you out of struggle into the abundance the universe is here to partner you with. Ask, and you shall receive. Now, I've been really interested most recently in my own journey about quantum physics. And quantum physics proves that observing a situation or a phenomenon necessarily changes it. In other words, everyone sees a different truth because everyone is creating what they see. Doesn't that explain a lot? Also, it means that the observer and the observed are linked in consciousness. The more present you are with a situation, a person, a scene in nature, the more is revealed to you. New solutions, unavailable in 3D, will present themselves by tapping into the consciousness of all sentient beings. So I'd like to pause just for a moment here and give you a chance to integrate what I've shared so far. So up until now, all of the events of your life, relationships, successes, failures, your level of happiness, of income, even your health, has been created from your energetic resonance. Your energetic resonance is your level of vibrational frequency that magnifies people and opportunities to you that reflect the same level of resonance. Make sense? Most of your true essence is hidden behind the false self-image or the act, and further suppressed and oppressed by the limitations of your 3D belief system. Human beings always get to be right about their beliefs. Have you noticed that? They even gather evidence to prove their beliefs are correct, even when their beliefs make them feel hopeless. I have a couple of questions for you that are actually courtesy of David Brooks in his brand new book, How to Know a Person. They really leapt off the pages because I really believe that the answers to these two questions will help you understand some of your own underlying beliefs, So I'm going to pop them in the chat, but I'm going to tell you what they are right now, and you can write them down. In our family, the one thing you must never do is, followed by, in our family, the one thing you must do above all else is. I'll repeat them one more time. In our family, the one thing you must never do is, and number 2, in our family, the one thing you must do above all else is. If you want to pop your answers in the chat, that would be great. Or if you want to keep them private, that is absolutely okay. You see, beliefs are consistent thought patterns that have concretized into a belief. Thoughts, like everything else, are made of energy. If you think the same thought often enough, it will concretize into a belief. At the end of this presentation, in just a few minutes, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to receive my free belief change process. So I'll come back to that at the end. And I now, coming towards the end of this presentation, I want to just talk a little bit about the life of enchantment and just see if you, like me, have put parts of your life on the back burner because you were prioritizing perhaps your work, perhaps, you didn't feel worthy enough to pursue these other activities. In my life, for example, in corporate America, productivity was the name of the game. So I learned that I was only valuable if I was producing. I became brilliant at it. I became an incredible multitasker. And many people, if you were just to ask them, tell them my name and ask them what comes up, they would just say, just amazing ability to get things done. But I did it at a cost. I did it at the cost of being fully present with what I was doing because I was always got one eye on what I was going to do next. Or at the back of my mind, there was a fear thought about not being prepared enough for something else. So my attention was split. I also learned, that in order to really focus on the work, I sacrificed emotional relationships. I sacrificed a relationship with nature. And I really want to make that up to myself. So I've been making some changes in order to live a life of enchantment and realizing that the way I was living, if I were to die, I would be sad that I hadn't explored some other areas of life on earth, that I put so much focus on my purpose and my mission. The first obstacle I found was rushing. It was ingrained into everything I do. So I am learning how to slow down. I reduced my days of offering clients my work. I reduced my days of business to just 2 days a week. And to my amazement, I actually am bringing in more money working 2 days than I did working 5. Astonishing to me. I'm learning how to do a piece of work and then take a break. Maybe to step outside, maybe to take 10 deep breaths, maybe to listen to the bird song, maybe to have a cup of tea. I'm learning there's a rhythm, a new rhythm that wants to be expressed through my life. That gives me time to do my work. I love my work. I am very, very, very blessed to do the work that I do. And it's not enough. I came to live heaven on earth. That's a life of enchantment. So I leave you with this question. What is enchantment to you? What would it look like if you chose a new rhythm for living your life? How would that be for you? What are some of the things that you have put on the back burner? Is it the relationship with your physical body? Is it the relationship with your friends, family? Whatever it is, now is the time. Time is now. So if you find that your belief system is really getting in the way, that perhaps you don't believe in your own self-worth, that perhaps you don't believe that you could have a life that wasn't enslaved to money, that, you don't believe that other people want you to be successful, then I invite you to drop me an email. I put my email in the chat, Aimee@AimeeLydonAdams.com. Just put in the subject line, request belief change process in the subject line, and I'll be happy to send it to you. As a result of signing up for my website, there's another free gift, and it's all about ways you can raise your vibrational frequency. Because remember, as I said, you always reflect the quality of the people and the opportunities that come into you, reflect your vibrational frequency. As you raise it, you raise the quality of those opportunities, invitations, and people. So in closing, I'd like to say the hugest thank you to you for listening and for your presence on the planet with me at this time on Earth. We are family. We are doing this together. Dr. Amber, one more time, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so very deeply grateful. Love and blessings. Thank you.